and welcome to the 5 Minute Film Club. And in honour of the late Sean Connery and Ennio Morricone, who died earlier this year, I thought I would review The Untouchables from 1987. And I suppose, to paraphrase it, here starteth the lesson. Directed by Brian De Palma and from a script by David Mamet, The Untouchables is based on the real-life story of Eliot Ness, who in 1930 was tasked with bringing down kingpin mobster Al Capone. Set during the Prohibition, Al Capone, played here by Robert De Niro, is calling the shots in Chicago and is essentially the mayor of the city, having bought up every powerful person in sight. Enter Eliot Ness, played by Kevin Costner, who assembles a group of cops that operate above the law and will stop at nothing to see Al Capone put away. He partners with a beat cop named Jimmy Malone, played by Sean Connery, in an Oscar-winning role nonetheless. One thing he definitely didn't win the Oscar for is his Irish accent. I mean, you could say that Jimmy Malone, probably born in Ireland, then spent 60 plus years in Edinburgh before he eventually moved to Chicago. That's the only way you can explain it. I mean, it is a truly terrible accent. It's a non-existent accent, but it isn't ear-grating or annoying, so, you kind of just get over it. It's not there. It doesn't impede his performance that is incredibly powerful and emotional, and definitely I think the father element that he brings to the role is what Steven Spielberg saw and then cast him for The Last Crusade as Henry Jones Sr.
Want to get Capone? Here's how you get him. He pulls a knife, you pull a gun. He sends one of yours to the hospital, you send one of his to the morgue. That's the Chicago way.
This performance is full throttle Connery. Try and saying that twice. This performance is full throttle Connery, with nothing to hold him back, and it is glorious. I also love Robert De Niro's portrayal as Al Capone. He plays him like a big child. He has no power, he is merely closeted away from the world in his luxury apartment, boasting to the media and getting people to carry out his dirty work.
I'm gonna tell you something. Somebody messes with me, I'm gonna mess with him. Somebody steals from me, I'm gonna say you stole, not talk to him for spitting on the sidewalk. You understand? Now, I have done nothing to hurt these people, but they're angered at me, so what do? Doctor up some income tax, for which they got no case. To annoy me, to speak to me like men, no. To harass a peaceful man.
And what with what's been going on in the White House for the last few years, this is a really interesting film to watch at this time. De Niro manages to strip away the mythic and romantic qualities that mobsters and gangsters generally have in films, and I love that about it. Brian De Palma's direction is also full of energy. I always find his style of filmmaking very exciting. You never really know what kind of shot you're going to get next. He throws every technique and angle you can think of. There is also the now famous and much parodied train station shootout scene. That is itself a homage to 1925's battleship Potemkin and the famous Odessa Steps. Also, this film has a wonderful score by Ennio Morricone, and in fact his score is so powerful that it is a character in its own right. From the opening titles till the very end, it is forever changing and developing. Some moments it feels like it's right out of the 1930s, and incidentally there is some contemporary music from the time, provided by Duke Ellington. We get brass and synth and strings that end up elevating the drama of this film to a completely other level. I think a whole other video is deserving of the score here, but I loved how present the score is and complements the grandiose direction and nature of the whole production. This isn't a realistic historical portrayal of 1930 Chicago. For me, this is more an emotional immersion into that time. All the stereotypes that we hazily remember from reruns of TV shows and old black and white gangster films are all present and correct, just given a bright 80s new lick of paint. This film, I feel stylistically, is not going to be for everybody. However, I think it's a really great film to watch right now, just for Sean Connery's performance, the great score by Ennio Morricone, and the wonderfully prescient portrayal of Al Capone by Robert De Niro.
What do you say? What do you say? I said never stop fighting till the fight is done.
What?
You heard me, Capone. It's over.
Get out of here. You're nothing but a lot of talking a bit.
Here ended the lesson.
Thank you very much for watching my review of The Untouchables. Never seen it before, and I'm really, really glad that I have. Over the next few weeks, as we're in lockdown, I will be looking at some feel-good films and films to watch while in isolation. And so next week, I'll be bringing you Rear Window, a film that has recently been given a 4K HDR remaster, which I'm excited to watch. I've seen it in multiple formats, VHS, TV, cinema, big screen, so, I know this film quite well and I really do enjoy it. So please join me next week for my review of Rear Window. And let me know any recommendations for films to watch, films that have been keeping you going over the last, how long is it now? 8 years of lockdown that we've had? Anyway, let me know in the comments below, follow me on Twitter, and stay safe, and I'll see you next week. Thank you very much, and goodbye.